say, we'll just start out. I'm Gary Brigham, Wisconsin's concertina kid from Gary's Original and Dutchman, 2018 International Polka Association Hall of Fame inductee, and honored to be joined by the grandson of 2020 inductee Ellsworth Babe Wagner. And we have Eric on the phone with us from New Prague, Minnesota. Eric, it's a pleasure to have you joining us. And why don't you, in a few words, say just a little bit about what you do know of your grandfather. Now, how old are you, Eric?
I'm 52.
You're 52.
52.
So your grandpa passed away before you were even born, and
I was born in 1968, and he passed away in 1949. So I had never had the pleasure of meeting him.
Sure. And what I guess from your standpoint and being a grandson, what kind of history do you know, or can you tell us, like how big of a family did Babe have?
Well, it was Babe, and then his brother Swede Wagner, Virgil Wagner, known as Swede.
Okay.
Yep. Was also a very talented musician and played with them. And they had another brother, Edward, known as Juju, also a talented musician, played saxophone. He ended up being a dentist, lived in Anoka. I got to meet Swede and Juju growing up. I knew them. Then a sister, Ordell Schneider, who played piano, so it was a very musical family.
Wow.
And I believe their parents were musical as well.
And where was your grandfather based out of when he was going and the band was going strong? Where was Grandpa from?
New Ulm, Minnesota. Yeah, they were
from New Ulm.
All the Wagners were from New Ulm, Minnesota. Yeah.
Very good. And then, and how many children did Babe have then? I know obviously you're a grandson.
Just my mother, Karen. So she was an only child, and I'm an only child.
Okay.
That's why I'm doing the interview.
Okay. All right.
Well, the last of the Mohicans.
Right. Well, it's great that you're able to join us, and we really do appreciate it. And I don't know if you really know how big of an impact your grandfather had on the rest of us in the music business, and our style, in our Dutchman German circuit and style. I've got a 4-piece band. I play concertina, so I don't have the big horn arrangements and selection like some of the other bands did, like, say, Ray Dorschner or my cousin Brian in the Mississippi Valley Dutchman, Carl in the Country Dutchman, and Malik Sturchman, so on and so forth. But he still had an impact on songs and arrangements and just different things. And now, before he had his own polka band, though, he actually toured with more of a bigger band, wasn't it?
Yeah, he played trombone in the Gene Krupa band.
That's what it was.
Okay, yeah.
Gene Krupa, okay. Very good, very good.
He grew up around New Ulm, playing around there, and
sure.
I would assume polka music then, and he was Gene Krupa, and then after that, Babe Wagner band.
Sure. And then sadly, your grandpa passed away in 1947.
49.
49, I'm sorry, at the age of 35. But he had such a huge impact in such a short time, and then when your grandfather passed away, then Swede took over the band. Then how long did the band go after that? After Grandpa passed away, then
I can butt in. It went on until 1969.
So after Babe passed, and he played slide trombone for those of people that aren't familiar with the sound and the music. So when Babe passed, what did they fill Babe's slot in the musical library with another trombone, or did
they want the 2 trumpets and but the last recording session they made on Columbia, they used 3 trumpets and 3 saxes or clarinet.
Okay.
So they had a big sound on that last recording session, which Arnie and all the fans will recognize, I guess.
So what are you Don, with you actually playing on the band? What are some of your favorite memories that just the 1 or 2 that come to mind of even though Babe was no longer around, but you still got to play with that band and the sound?
it was a constant thrill, I tell you, to be able to. Here, I grew up on the farm listening to this band whenever I could.
Sure.
And when I joined the band in '55, it was just the same sound that I was used to listening to on this Columbia recordings that the band played. And I just happen to have a picture in front of me here of when the band recorded or played in 1946. And the personnel in the band at that time was on clarinet and sax was Paul Donnelly and Rolly Wolf. And then Swede played trumpet, and Babe was playing trombone, and he also played some trumpet.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Kelly was playing bass. Swede Rock Band was playing drums, and a lady by the name of Irene Nelson was playing piano on this picture.
Okay.
There was a time when later on when we had three of those four front line on the band while I played. Paul Donnelly, Rolly Wolf, and Swede. We had those three guys, the same front line that they had on this 1946 picture. And I was just in awe that I was able to go back and play with those guys.
And then you guys, now correct me if I'm wrong, but there was also a gentleman from the area, from Wisconsin, Minnesota, by the name of Donnie Burkhardt, who also played trumpet with the band. Is that correct?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he started about 1957, I think, in there someplace.
And then how long was he with the band? Because I know then he also had a stint around either before or after with the Whoopi John band at around that time, wasn't it?
Yeah, he left the Babe Wagner band and he went to the Whoopi John band. And
okay.
I might also mention that Elmer Scheid was the concertina player on the band when at this picture I'm talking about.
Sure.
But when he quit, he left, and then they imported a fellow from Milwaukee by the name of Cliff Mathowitz, who played concertina, and I replaced him on the band in 1955.
Oh, wow. So you played from 55 right up till the band folded in 69 then.
That's Gary, I'm going to butt in just one moment here.
Sure.
There was also another man from Wisconsin that played for some time, a fellow was from Rice Lake, the town that I live in. Milt Abramson played second trumpet with the band off and on for a number of years. Donnie might be able to expound on that just a bit more.
Yeah, in fact, I myself and John Archer's the clarinet sax player who played on the Wagner band also. But Milt Abramson passed away here about 2 years ago.
Yeah, well,
we used to communicate phone-wise. He was living in Omaha at the time.
Sure.
And also, I think Arnie knows that this fella from Wisconsin that played Bruce in a race.
Oh, he also from Rice Lake. Yes, I forgot about him. Yes.
Wow.
Great musician.
Wow. So
trombone, piano.
Wonderful arranger. He wrote this arrangement that we recorded. It's not on any commercial recordings, but the Beer Bucket Polka. And, yeah, he wrote that arrangement for the band.
Wow. So, Donnie, back when you were playing with the band, then how many dates a year were you guys traveling and playing back then?
When I started the band in 1955, we were playing, I was playing every night except Monday nights because I was in the National Guard at the time. But we were playing every night except Monday nights. But like all the other bands experienced at that time, as the years went by, the business slowed down, and then it went to 4 nights a week and 3, and that's eventually we are at where we're at today, I guess.
Right. So were you just full-time music, or did you have a job too, or did you just focus on the band?
I was full-time music for quite a few years, and then I saw the handwriting on the wall, and I took a vocational school course on electronics, and I wound up getting a TV repair job right in the wall, which worked out really well. And I stayed at that business for some time, and I worked the last 16 years on electronics at 3M in New Orleans. So.
Wow. And Babe himself, so he he was strictly music. He never held another job or had to, I suppose, but between the Wagner band and Gene Krupa, he could play full time, and that's what he did.
That was pretty much it from the band. He came back from Krupa and some with the Six Fat Dutchman, and
sure.
So he started the Dave Wagner band, and he was there until he passed away. So.
Wow. And so I'm going to throw this out to either Eric, Arnie, or Donnie, whoever could answer it. But so did he strictly record for Columbia Records, or was there another label that he would have recorded for at that time?
When Babe was on the band, there was just Columbia that the band recorded.
Okay.
Later on, they did Arnie, that was Polka Land.
But yeah, Polka Land. I think four sides, I believe.
Okay.
Flip was on that. So.
Wow.